going live. Let me just check all my media here for everyone as we go live. Put my little hat on for you. Right, that's good.
Wow. I can't.
Hey everyone.
That's amazing.
It's good, eh?
Yeah,
it's
good.
People probably
It's got like its own rhythm happening.
Yeah. So you can like get your head to go up the right. Yeah. Just wait for everyone to hop online. Hey guys and girls, Nathan here, and today I've got a special guest. We've got Michelle.
Hi guys.
From Queensland office. So just thought I'd hop online. Sorry it's a little bit later. Josh is, everyone's saying that we're nuts. So there's a reason behind why I've got this hat on for. It's not my birthday. It is Michelle's birthday next week. So it was a bit of a dare. I asked Michelle what she wanted for her birthday, and she said that she wants me to wear this hat, and I had to wear the hat for her. So
for the whole session.
For the whole session. And I'll turn the hat on like when someone has a question for you or something. Or
okay.
Yeah.
Be like a buzzer.
Yeah, like a little buzzer. We'll just push it and get it going. So, but welcome aboard, guys, and thanks for tuning in. It's a bit different this week because normally I'm in Sydney, and Michelle and the team here at the Blink office in Queensland normally are all watching us, and here we are, in the office, and Michelle's on the camera, and she's like, "Why am I being on the camera for? Why am I coming on for?" And it's like, "Well, I'm in your office, so I may as well have you here." And it's Michelle's birthday next week on
8
Tuesday.
days.
8 days? Is it Tuesday, is it?
Tuesday the 11th.
There's only 7 days.
Well,
it's Tuesday to Tuesday. It's really only 6.
Okay, so 7 sleeps.
6.
7? 6?
Yeah, 6.
Okay, whatever.
So, yeah.
Tuesday.
So,
text me.
So, the reason why I put the hat on for is because Michelle said that she wanted me to wear the hat and dared me to do it. So I said I'd wear it for the Facebook Live, and here we are. So that's why I put the hat on. But just before we get on with this evening, a lot of people are asking questions about, property management, what's happening out there, what's happening in the rental market. So I thought I'd get on one of the experts to talk to you about the rental market and how to protect yourself. Sorry?
Am I the expert?
You're the expert,
okay.
yes.
Cool.
That would be you. So, we'll get onto that shortly. But as always, I want to start talking about the obvious things out there. First one is the elephant in the room was the RBA Met. Today is the first Tuesday of the month. As always, RBA meets at 2 p.m, 2:30 p.m. RBA left the rates, the official interest rates, at 0.25% interest rate, meaning no cut, no deal. However, we are still on track to go to 0 and to negative interest rates. I've got a chart here which I just took before we came on live, which is my standard chart, which is the 30-day interbank cash rate futures, which I just posted in a Birch feed a little while ago. And it goes to read, for the first time ever, that it actually says 0.12 basis points here. So if we were to have the rate cut decision tomorrow, generally that would have signalled they would have a rate cut. And here we are looking at it, and we've got September would show 0.12, October 0.12, November 0.125, December 0.12, January 0.12, February 1.12, and it's just flatline. As I said beforehand, we had the death of a heart rate monitor, and as we're out with our financial system at the moment, I predict that we will still see 0% to negative percent interest rates throughout the course of 2020, and we're well on track for that. But as for today, as I thought, we would see no rate cut and would see the dollar not change. I've got a question here. I will answer that before it disappears from Instagram. What is your opinion on exchanging Aussie dollars for US dollars because our dollar is getting stronger? Good question. I guess I never get to speculate on the currencies. Looking at what is the next move to occur. The levers that are getting pulled from quantity easing, currency creation all around the world would mean if there's more printing in the US, we will see a stronger Aussie dollar or a weaker US dollar. If there's more printing in Australia, we will see a weaker Aussie dollar. So I wouldn't like to speculate on that. Obviously, there is great trading opportunities for those of you that are trading currencies and forex and whatnot. Looking at something very important, I talked a lot about previously that we would see the stock market get a lot of volatility in and around June to or August to September sort of time frame. The reporting season for most corporate companies starts on this Thursday, so it will be interesting to see. There'll be a lot of companies out there, Michelle, going broke and bankrupt, declaring that they're insolvent. That's the opportunity, though. Right? Wherever there's something bad, there's always something good. And if we look at our cups of water here, if we put I'll put this in here, right? I don't want to put it in there because it'll be yuck. But as we push it in, the water would come up and go over the top, right? Every action has a reaction. As something bad happens out there in the marketplace, something good will occur. There's an opportunity for someone, and obviously I talk about that with property, and we deal with that every day of the week. But it's just an opportunity that's out there. As a lot of you know, I don't go out and party, even though I've got my party hat on. Let's put the song on for you. I don't go out there and party. However, the other night I went out for dinner with one of my mates, as a real estate agent here on the Gold Coast, and we went out for dinner, and I was like, let's go and have a drink somewhere. Let's go and sit somewhere, right? Because the restaurant that we were at had closed, and we went to a pub. And normally in life you can just go to the pub, you can walk in anywhere, whatever the case may be. And what occurred is that when we went into a pub, there's a line all the way around the building. I'm like, this pub's never had anyone in it beforehand. And social distancing, the world that we're in, the new normal, as they say. We're in a world where we've got communist rules, and it's something I realised, because rarely do I get a chance to go out there. The way that we're living our life is changing, right? And those in Melbourne, I hope you're all doing well. Actually, as I said that, I saw Chris writing a message saying, jealous, we're in prison down here in Melbourne. I'll be a perpetual traveller throughout this period of time. If they try and lock down and have some commie sort of state like that, I will be travelling, and I might make some videos around that, should that be the case. If not, you'll check me out next week back in Sydney in my house or my office or whatnot. So, but yeah, hopefully everyone in Melbourne is doing all right. Obviously, the dandemic, we normally have the scamdemic, but we've got the dandemic down there in Melbourne, and all the poor people that have been put under house arrest, fined for not wearing a mask. And if we have a look at the trend that's going out there, look at what happened to Melbourne before they got to a point of lockdown. They started saying hotspots and those cells and stuff like that. There's talks about it in Sydney. There's lots of hotspots and breakout regions over the course of last week. I've seen here in the Gold Coast and Queensland, they're starting to pull up these areas and whatnot. And just very interesting times that we're sitting at, especially with this hat. You didn't think I'd wear it, did you?
No, I have to be honest. I thought it was a load of crap.
Yeah. Well, if I say I'm going to do something, I do it. So,
I know, you're a man of your word.
That's what I do. So
it's pretty cool.
There's a video that came out the other day, and I'll play this just for the exercise. This is a video of great it's an ad for Hungry Jack's, by the way. A video from Donald Trump. Let's just listen to it for a second. This is interesting. Very careful with the words that you hear here.
One issue that has come up is once you do have a vaccine, how do you properly distribute it? How do you get it out quickly to
Well, when we have the vaccine, we have the military all lined up, and the military is going to be doing it in a very powerful manner. These are people that don't usually do vaccines. They do soldiers, and they do lots of other things that frankly are more difficult, but we have our general, and logistically he's all set. Tony, do you want to say something about that?
That is correct. As the vaccine rolls out, we'll be getting them distributed. And as you probably have heard, we are going to make sure that we do it in an equitable way, and it's representative of the populations who need it the most. And we have the standard way.
When you hear that, like, what do you think? Why would you need the military to put a vaccine in people, right? That sounds like that you're fucking locking people up.
Yeah.
Gas chamber sort of shit. Sounds like Weimar Germany back in the 20s. So it's really, yeah. So there's lots of people out there. Just for my friends in Melbourne that are watching and that are in their house, there's not much else to do. So why not watch Birchie with the birthday hat on?
Awesome hat on.
Yeah. So.
We've got a special to talk about my birthday month too,
yeah, we'll
right?
talk about that. We'll
about
talk about
Blink?
It. Yeah, but
we'll
still at the news.
Okay, all right.
She's getting too excited. She's like, oh, my birthday already.
Whatever.
Right?
All right, let's do your news then.
We'll talk about it after the news.
Okay, deal.
Lots of questions.
Right.
Anybody that's got questions around, how to get insurance at the moment. Anyone got questions on property management, rentals, rents being paid, etc. Just feel free to put them in the message box and we'll answer them in a moment. I've just seen here, Chris wrote, 8 p.m. curfew in Melbourne is with police and army patrolling the streets between 8 p.m. and 5 a.m.
Wow,
Lucky we do
crazy.
Facebook Lives at 8 o'clock because we know everybody in Melbourne will be at home.
You should get more viewers,
yeah,
right?
Put the lockdowns down. That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome. No. Really, it's fucked up, guys. It's fucked up. And as is, there's a lot of people out there saying you must wear your mask, you must put your mask. I've got my hat on, but people saying you must put your mask on. People saying you must get your vaccine. Right? If someone wants to get a vaccine, good luck to them. Someone doesn't want to get a vaccine, good luck to them. I always sit there and try and awaken people and be like, look at it, it's a scam, right? And I can't make everyone happy. So if people want to, there's lots of idiots out there in the world, and people want to just be brainwashed to the news and stuff like that. They probably need to have something go wrong. So yeah, but I'm still confused as to why they got the military for a vaccine.
Yeah,
That's
crazy.
like some really fucked up shit, guys. So yeah, if they try and lock down the states, they try and lock down the borders. I actually have a license in Queensland and one in Sydney and stuff. Like, I won't be staying anywhere. I'll just be travelling. I'll be travelling in a caravan.
Such a rebel.
Yeah, I try and live life on my terms. It's always it's always the thing about the brand, right? Like, yeah. So I'll be finding a way. I'm not going to get jabbed with the needle. It's just my personal choice, and everyone's free to their choice. But yeah. Want to get on to some more of the news. Hyperinflation. What's been hyperinflating this week, guys? What have you been seeing going up in value? Yesterday we went to the bank and we went and filled up with petrol because I had 0 kilometres left in my truck. And I came back and I had a paddle pop. You remember I had the paddle pop? Mm-hmm. Hopped in the car. The fucking paddle pop had gone to $2.50. The paddle pops were $2.40. And in 2008, they're 80 cents.
Yeah.
Right? So the cost of your money, the value of your money is depleting further. The cost of goods going up more and more every week. There's this news article, everybody's outraged. Aileen from the office will be outraged. It's about Cadbury Freddo frogs.
No way.
Size.
Not the strawberry kind.
Yeah, for those of you that don't know Aileen, Aileen's one of our senior property managers here, and she loves strawberry Freddo frogs.
More like obsessed. Let's be honest.
Obsessed.
Yeah.
Goes on to read, Cadbury Freddo frogs pack size shrinks, but the price stays the same. Cadbury fans are furious over the confectionery giant's decision to slash the size of one of its popular items. Freddo frogs are a treat that has been loved by generations, while consumers are familiar with paying $5 for a share packet. $5. $5 for fucking Freddo frogs. And then for a packet of $15 for 5 frogs, right? I remember at school I got 10 frogs for 5 cents, those little red fuckers, right? But anyway, the packet went from weighing 180 grams down to 144 grams, 20% decrease in chocolate for the same price. It has gone from 2.78 cents per gram to 3.47 cents.
That's bullshit.
Right? That's the hidden inflation
Yeah.
out there, right? It's happening with everything. Your Big Mac size getting smaller. I went to Hungry Jack's the other day, right? I was moving house before I came here. I laid my new orchard before I hopped in the car before the border closed, and I made it here. And I went to Hungry Jack's and bought some shit food. They had this thing called a Big Jack, and I went there. I got 2 meals, a couple of ice creams and shit. It cost $50. It was over $50.
No way.
For 2 meals
For Hungry
at
Jack's?
Who would
Oh
have
my
thought?
God.
Who would have thought? No birthday party at Hungry Jack's anymore for you, right?
God.
So yeah, because while many fans have taken to social media to express their disappointment, labelling it a rip-off, there is a reason for the size change, and it isn't Freddos have been affected. Goes on to read, yep, thought it felt like it when I picked up the packet the other day, but was in a hurry, didn't close it, refused to buy a couple of rip-offs. Here we are here. Sorry, we've got someone watching in the office. Just had to close the door because I've got staff watching from other rooms. So we've got, how many staff have we got? Like about 15, 16 staff in here, and they've got them here working at the moment. But yeah, we've got a 12-pack of Freddo Frogs for $5, and a week beforehand for $5 for 15. Right? That there is the start of inflation, 20% difference.
Tragedy.
Right? People won't be able to eat after this, right? I'll talk
Freddo
about
Frogs?
No, just in general, they won't be able to
okay.
afford food. It's happened throughout thousands of different currencies over the years, and here we are in Australia, right? The people in Melbourne, I see that there's ads out. So there's the news out there saying all meat products, right? You can't get KFC, you can't get chicken, you can't get beef. The meat works places are closing. Obviously, railroading people into getting this Beyond Meat, these meatless patties that they have that's like a fake meat and stuff like that. Interesting world we live in. This here was a meme I found the other day. World War One, World War Two, and World War Three. Right? First one's got a gun. Second one's got like a Uzi. Third one's got the camera with money as bullets.
Yeah.
Right, we're in a war here with our consciousness and our belief system and our mind and our freedom and our liberties. And now this here, I don't know if I've shared this one beforehand. This here is an ounce of gold. It's in Birchfeed. If you're not in Birchfeed, join Birchfeed. You'll enjoy it. 1 ounce of gold in 1933 was $20.67. You could buy it. That would have been what it would have cost you for an ounce of gold back in 1933, before the Gold Confiscation Act. And in 2020, this is outdated because it keeps rising by the week. Look at the scale there of how much cash you need to pay for an ounce of gold. Same thing occurs whether it happens with a car, whether it happens with food, whether it happens with Freddo Frogs. Everything's going to be hyperinflated away. Let's look at some fake news here. These two women here, it's the same person, 2 different articles, 2 different names. Right? Look at it. Louise Payne is the resident's daughter, and then Mary Watson was the daughter.
What?
It's the thing. It's on,
It's the
it's
same
on 7
person.
News. It's on 7 News, and it's on the same network here. It's on Sunrise and 7 News. So maybe they could have made a mistake, but they've got the same person, 2 different names.
Journalists, they shouldn't make mistakes.
Exactly, right? One of the things they're making mistakes about. Let's get on to that though.
Ah.
Dr. Fauci. This is an article from January the 11th, 2017. It's in the Herald Special Report, Healthcare and Politics. Fauci, no doubt Trump will face surprise infectious disease outbreak in January
No
2017.
way.
Look at it.
That's amazing.
Right? Did they see it beforehand, or did they plan this stuff? It's a bit like that Netflix series, Pandemic, which came out a couple of months before, and it was a propaganda outlet for our friend there, Bill Gates. One other thing that's really interesting, I don't know too much more about this, but it's something that was circulating on the internet. It is an article from on Westpac. It goes on to say that effective from the 1st of July 2020, cash deposits limit at Westpac branches will change from unlimited to $7,500. You want to go and deposit more than $7,500 into your Westpac bank account? We're not taking any cash. We're not taking any cash. The 30th of August, cash deposits will cease being accepted at Westpac branches.
You're joking. Are you
30th of
serious?
December 2020, check deposits will cease being accepted at Westpac branches. Right? We're going to a cashless society. When do you think we're going to see interest rates fall? That's when we're going to. When do you think we're going to see banks start changing interest rates? It's going to be when interest rates go to zero and go to negative. So. And just saw this other note on the net the other day. It says, not one doctor, not one news channel, not one person in an authority over the last 5 months has told us how to naturally boost our immune system. Think about it, right? We've all got to wait for a vaccine. We've all got to take a mask. We've all got to close our business. We've all got to be self-imprisoned to our houses. However, no one has come out and said, hey, what about if you eat better? What about if you take better vitamins? What about if you go and exercise? What about if you go and do this? What about if you go and do that? No one's given any help or assistance on that. That is the propaganda outlet out there. All they're pushing is masks, social distancing, tests, vaccines. What about vitamins, food, healthy foods, and sunshine? The game is rigged. So on that note, let's go and see what everyone else is saying. But just for those of you that are tuning in at the moment, might be thinking, why is Nathan wearing this hat? Is he off his head? Most of the time we think he's off his head. Michelle's saying yes. Came up to Queensland the other day. Michelle is our licensee here in the Queensland office, and it is her birthday next week. We'll sing happy birthday for her.
That's amazing.
Yeah, it is amazing.
I love it. Yeah.
So Michelle asked me as a bit of a dare to wear this hat. And I said, I'll wear the hat.
You're welcome, everyone.
I said, I'll wear the hat if Michelle comes on the Facebook and Instagram Live and be there for us to answer some questions. I thought it was a great opportunity. And we do have a special offer for everybody. So a lot of people are asking, how can you get access to landlord insurance at the moment? There's an embargo out there. We've been able to get access to it, and we're going to give free insurance to everybody. Maybe if you want to tell us what we're giving away for your birthday. It's her birthday, but we're giving you the present.
Yeah, so there's a code word. You have to say Michelle's. Should we do like a fake age to make it even more interesting?
Whatever,
Maybe they can guess my age. No, that could be dangerous. So
if they want free landlord insurance, so I'll say Michelle 21. So
that's it. Yeah. That's the code word. Michelle's 21st. So we're offering free landlord insurance. So at the moment, there is an embargo on a lot of insurance policies. We've been able to exclusively obtain landlord insurance for our clients. Yay!
Happy
so if you sign up with Blink, if you come on board with Blink is actually going to pay your first year's landlord insurance, which is amazing. Only for the month of August, guys.
So if you're looking for landlord insurance, if you've got a property, thinking of getting a property, make the switch, come to us, let us manage your assets in the month of August. It's August
and we
this
do,
month,
and we do
August.
the whole of Queensland too. So
we're doing like most of Australia. We've got all of New South Wales as well, and
but it's all about me in Queensland.
It's all about you, So we handle the whole Queensland, guys. If you've got any properties in Queensland, make sure that you reach out to Michelle. And we've got questions coming through. So I'm going to look at the first one here on Instagram.
How do you see that, man?
I've got to turn my head on the side. We've put the camera on the side just so we can both be on here. Any chance you can change the orientation of this video, please? It's kind of hard watching you sideways. That's very timely.
We're watching you guys sideways too.
We could try to, but I actually forgot to bring my stand to Queensland today and this week.
Oh, there's Gail. Hi, Gail.
Hey, everyone. We've got Gemma here too. We've got everyone. Gemma from head office. So yeah, with it, I forgot to bring my Instagram light stand. So that's why I've got staplers and sticky tape holders and everything sitting on top of my laptop so we can get it right. But yeah, we've got some questions. We're here to answer your questions. So yeah, ask any questions. We've got here some love going on between a few people in the thread. We've got Jada loving your hat, Nathan. Thanks. To the moon, Dane, to the moon, right? There's a lot of markets that are mooning at the moment, whether it be crypto markets, a lot of people out there killing it in crypto space. A lot of people out there trading in different sort of financial instruments, whether it be in dollars or whether it be into derivatives, whether it be into anything. There's a lot of people out there are making money at the moment. A lot of people purchasing precious metals, which are going up a lot. A lot of people buying property, which are great. We got Pat here. No, don't cue me. Cool. So, hello, Karen. I don't even know what the Karen thing is. I don't watch news that much to understand that, John. So I don't know. I think it's someone that doesn't wear a mask. Vic, where do you see us in the next 3 months? Is it though? I don't know. What's a Karen?
Karen's like the person who needs to see the manager all the time.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
If there's
No
any
offense
Karens
to
out
any
there,
Karens.
if there's anyone
We
wants to
love
see the
Karens.
manager, we've got Michelle here. So
I'm
you can come and see the licensee of the property manager. So yeah, so we've got some questions here. What do we see happening from Vic in the course of the next few months? I see that we will be heading to a 0% interest rate policy. I still see that on the cards this year. I see that we're going to go through a lot of volatility over the next couple of months, especially starting from the next week. We will see much more volatility in all paper asset markets. So just keep an eye out there. That's what I was talking about 6 months ago when this all started, 5 months when they started coming out with all this crap. That we would see it at this period of time. So keep an eye out. Sufil's right, Sufil's wrong. Either way, we're going to see the markets either crash and burn. We're going to see them print out so much money that we're going to see massive inflation, which we're already seeing with the Freddo Frogs. So asking you the questions through from the community. If you've got any property management sort of questions, Monique, hey Michelle, what is happening with rental market in the Gold Coast there, in the Brisbane market? What are you seeing here?
We had our best month in leasing at Blank. We rented nearly 30 properties in 30 days, which was incredible across the board. And we had multiple people applying per property.
Yeah.
So it was a really busy month for us. So a lot
When
of
was the last time you would have seen something like that happen?
not even this year at
The
all.
month.
So November is normally your peak season for leasing. It was on par with just before Christmas.
Yeah.
People making the move, wanting to get into their house before Christmas, and especially in the market that we have with COVID, where even though Queensland has had less cases and we're in stage 3 and hospitality, people are getting their jobs back, people are still skeptical and are really factoring in cost-wise the value of properties and things like that. And we had an amazing month. It was awesome.
I'm seeing the same thing in Sydney actually, as well. Like where we've, like the amount of stock that we've got available for lease. Like the market probably started to fall maybe 3 years ago in Sydney, and recently, probably over the last 2 months, 3 months, we've seen that really pick up and change. You're in the comment.
Why is my frog getting smaller?
The frog's getting smaller, and Aileen saying she will not share her strawberry Freddos. That is
She's so selfish.
She
with
didn't
the
realise. She
strawberry
didn't know. She
Freddos.
should have told
No,
her.
I know.
Should have told her. So if we've got questions here from Insta, no one's on Insta asking us questions at the moment. Hey Pat, hope you're doing well, mate. Frank, thoughts on deferring my investment loans for 6 months? Pros and cons. Good question. There's lots of people out there that put their mortgages on holidays. It depends what your position is, where your portfolio's at, what you're trying to achieve. I've seen a lot of people that could have taken great opportunity in this marketplace. However, they haven't been able to get loans because they've put their mortgage on hold. And it's like, well, you've said that you can't afford it. You can't pay your mortgage, but you ask for a loan.
Yeah.
You can't refinance. You can't restructure your debt. You can't get a cheaper interest rate. You can't pull out equity. You can't buy more properties if you freeze your mortgages. So before freezing, you need to look at every aspect of the playing field. If you need help on that, flick us a message, hit us up, and we'll be happy to help out where we can. But yeah, I haven't put any of my mortgages on hold. I liked the idea that you could put your mortgages on hold. However, it's I didn't end up doing that. Andrew said hard to be positive at the moment, guys and girls. Look, we're being positive because it's your birthday soon, and you've got the hat on and whatnot. I'm excited I'm in Queensland. I always look for things I'm grateful for every day, like affirmations.
Yep.
I actually, this year, like 2020, right? I've had lots of people around me that had problems and stuff like that, like family problems, health issues with people, all that sort of stuff. And I was talking to someone that's like ill the other day, like got like a really bad sickness, right? My family, and I was like, things aren't that good because you're sick, but I've had a great year, right? Like there's opportunities out there. There's lots of things that are going good. So whilst there may be a lot of doom and gloom out there, there might be a lot of negativity. Always got to look for what is the opportunity. I had gloomy years before this leading up. I think this is great. This is fabulous, right? Like property's moving, things are great. Like the economy is going where we need it. It's really, really cool. Jess, do you happen to invest in Woodridge? Do invest all across the country from coast to coast. We manage properties in the Gold Coast in this office. Michelle and her team.
That is a happy birthday, Sash, and we have a really big birthday month. It's a couple of our staff actually that have birthdays this month.
Yeah.
And yes, I did steal it from one of my staff today, just for tonight, and including a headband. Just saying.
We should put Miho with the hat. She should have had the hat today.
Yeah,
It was her
that's
birthday.
true. No, I bought that for you. It's for the whole month
for
of
me?
August.
Oh,
Yeah,
no, I'm
you
not
have
going
to
to
do
wear it.
it
I'm just wearing it
next week.
today. I'm just wearing it.
No, you have to wear it.
I'm just wearing it for the day.
It's my birthday next Tuesday, though.
Yeah.
You have to wear it on that day.
For those of you that are tuning in, Michelle's birthday. She's a licensee here in the Queensland office. Got free landlord insurance. People can't get access to landlord insurance. It's a bit like the silver and gold market. The people can't get their hold. They call up the mint. They're like, "Hey, I want to buy some gold. I want to buy some silver." It's like, too bad, so sad. You're shit out of luck, right?
Yeah.
When you're calling up any of your insurance companies, "I want insurance for my property. Too bad, so sad. Can't get it." Here we are. We've got the insurance policies here. So, and we're giving them away for free for Michelle's birthday. You've got to send us a message. Hit us up with a private message. Flick Michelle an email. What's your email address?
michelleR@blankproperty.com.au.
Send Michelle a message. Michelle's 21st.
Wish me happy birthday.
Yeah, and get free landlord insurance. So flick us a message if you want to get access to free landlord insurance. Erkan, I'm in prison in Melbourne. What is the process of buying a property in the state? When we can't get out of prison to view a potential property. Do a lot of, I don't necessarily go and, I'm just reading another message that's on there, which I'm not going to read out, but I think it's a bit amusing. But you're looking at the one that's there underneath. But yeah, looking at, we're fortunate we've got access to Google, all the facilities out there. You've got the phone, you've got everything in the palm of your hand, you've got Instagram and Facebook and YouTube, being able to watch us here at B.Invested and getting information and being able to do your research. You wouldn't be able to do that in jail, so you're not technically in a prison, you're in a concentration camp. So what's the difference between a concentration camp in Melbourne?
I think a concentration camp is worse than prison.
Yeah.
I would
I've never
imagine
been in
just
one,
based on history.
Yeah, maybe. You still got a dictator and bad things happening. So
Yeah, but I think people are actually being tortured and dying.
people have been tortured in Melbourne.
Yeah, but not to the degree of concentration
Yeah,
camps.
true,
I'm
true.
just saying.
Yeah, true. We've got here shrinkflation. Where are we wanting to invest? Looking at some of the deals that I've been doing in the last week whilst being here, I was actually on the phone. I'm not going to say where. It was about to come out of my mouth. It was about to come out. Someone nearly got me to say where I was talking to someone. But the other morning at 7 o'clock in the morning, I was driving to the office here. And yes, I did get out of bed at 7 o'clock in the morning, and I was talking to an agent, wrapping up a deal, and literally we're buying from end to end of the country, from all different states, every corner of the country, picking up properties that are below market value, good upside for capital growth, strong cash flow. So,
What is this? That's a
Justin,
Wow.
That's cool. That's cool.
That's awesome.
Good question. So Justin's asked through here, hey Nath, my 7-year-old son has about 9K in his bank account. What would you do with it? Without giving financial advice, obviously, little disclaimer on there, don't give financial advice.
You could
not
buy me a
financial advice.
really awesome present.
You
with that.
could buy
Just
Michelle a
saying.
good present.
Just saying.
I think Justin's going to get some free insurance as well. So you guys will be chatting shortly too.
Hi, Justin.
What could we do with it? So, we could leave it in cash, like being 7 years old. That's 11 years until he can become legal to sign a contract, right? So, given if he was to go at the current rate and without inflation attacking the world, with $9,000, if you could save at that rate and get it to like 30, 40,000, you could pick up a property with $9,000 for your 7-year-old son. But the problem being is that we've got to look at in 11 years' time when he can sign a contract, where will the world be? So he can't technically sign a contract. You could use that as a deposit or purchase a very cheap property for 15, 20 grand and buy it cash under a trust for him potentially. You could use that 9 grand. I would be asking myself, right, like we've got Freddo Frogs there that have gone from 15 pack down to 12 pack now. We've seen inflation starting to chew up the cost of Hungry Jack's, McDonald's, even the paddle pop we bought on Monday from the Servo for $2.50. It's becoming a rip-off. Do you remember those little like heart ice creams and stuff?
Oh my
They're
God,
like
they were
$5.
amazing. Are they really?
$5, right?
Holy
$5.
crap, I love those. They were amazing.
Yeah, they got them now. Yeah, they're pretty good, but they're $5. So yeah, I remember they're like $1 or something. You get a little Dixie cup. You go to Macca's and a fucking one of those a McFlurry of $5. A Sunday,
They're $5?
$5 for a McFlurry.
Wait, so how much is the one in the cone though?
Like
are they like still
$1,
30 cents?
$1,
They're $1 now.
And the cheap
happening?
and the dollar hamburger from Macca's just went to $1.50 with the 50% inflation for the low value pool sort of purchases, the lost leaders. So really, like, if you got 9 grand today in 2020, what would 9 grand buy in 2030 when your son's able to buy a property and be legal age to sign a contract? So, would it be sensible to have that cash just building up and losing its value? Or would it be best to ask yourself a question, could you use that sort of currency there to purchase something else? Maybe some precious metals, maybe some gold, maybe some silver, maybe a bit of a Bitcoin, maybe some cryptocurrencies. There's other things that you could do. I do have access to properties, which I talk about sometimes. I put one out the other day, $14,750 for a block of land in Australia. 14,000.
That's amazing.
It's cheaper to buy a block of land in Australia than it is, and it's a buildable block, and there's houses that are around it selling for like 300,000. Cheaper to buy a block of land than it is to buy a Bitcoin in 2020. But there's a few ideas here, Justin. We've got here, it's a numbers game, take the emotion out of it. Thoughts on deferring my interest rate again. Lawrence, hey there, B.Invested crew. I would like to invest in a group in Australian land, currently undervalued. Would B.Invested be interested? Always interested to see what sort of opportunities are out there on the table. Always happy to entertain ideas and whatnot. Look, no idea is a stupid idea. I was driving to Queensland on the phone to Michelle. She said, can you please hop on a Facebook Live? I'll watch it. This office, I need you guys to understand, right? I'm in the Queensland B.Invested asset management office here, and the staff here, there's like 15 staff in here that tune in every Tuesday religiously to watch these Facebook Lives. Michelle asked me to wear this hat. I said I'll wear it.
Isn't he a great boss?
Right? So go, whatever. No, I love it. Right? So
awesome.
Nothing, no deal, no nothing is, you gotta, there's that movie, what's that movie? It's a Jim Carrey movie. It's like The Yes Man, right? And it's like where he goes and says yes to everything. Is it liar?
Yes Man?
No, like where he just goes, okay, I'm going to say yes, and then he sees where things go. Liar, or something. He can't say.
Is that with everything?
Look, we're on film at the moment, and you're not going to get me that way. But it's
Just trying to renegotiate my employment contract. Only joking.
Look, it's would we invest in land? Would we invest in? I've bought lots of different things, right? As I said, like land for Liar. That's the show from what did I say? No, Jim Carrey. He's probably a bit crazier than me. But yeah, look, feel free, Lawrence, if you've got something you want to chat about. As I said, like we pick up blocks of land for like 10 grand, 15 grand, 20 grand. Just did a deal for 50 grand for a unit that used to sell for like 150. So, Josh, what about Blink New South Wales? Yes, that offer of bringing over your property for us to manage. If you have a property anywhere in Sydney, in New South Wales, we manage throughout the whole of New South Wales, the whole of Queensland, and entering other states of the country. So we're going to be national. If you do bring your property over for Michelle's birthday, we will be giving you, if you sign up with Blink in the month of August, August, we will give you access to free landlord insurance. You can't even put a price on landlord insurance.
You can't even get it anywhere.
You can't get it.
It's insane.
Yeah, can't get it. But we have it, and you can have it too, for free.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. Got questions. Shane Josh talking,
like,
yeah.
Like special relationship going
There
on
is.
there.
There is. Josh, give B.Invested a call, have a chat. Heaps helpful. Thanks, Josh. Appreciate.
Sounds like a few people are having a great old time drinking wine too.
Here we go. It must be the party hat.
I know. Everyone's celebrating.
Joel, here we go, Frank. There's questions come through a few times here. Joel, I feel like landlords' rights will continue to be eroded in the future by state government's policy. Do you ever see a day where an asset's owner has more rights than the tenant? What are your thoughts on this worrying trend? Cheers, mate. Love the content. Thanks a lot for tuning in. I appreciate the kind words. What do you reckon about tenants' rights and owners' rights?
I think it got a little out of control. Now, this is not advice. This is my own personal opinion. I think it got a little bit crazy, and then COVID hit, and there was a lot of different information where everyone had no idea what was going on. And the REIQ in Queensland stepped in, clarified a lot of stuff, and it shut down a lot of the white noise. You had tenants' unions narking up and things like this. There was a lot of talk about tenants having essentially more rights than landlords, and I think now with COVID, I think it's going to change the way that will change our lives, really. I don't think anything's going to be the same, but I think with the real estate industry, with there was a lot of stepping back, and there was pushback on owners to help tenants, whereas it's a lot more of an equal playing field now, so I think it's more fair.
I've got a question for you.
Uh-oh.
How many of our properties that we manage, right, how many owners have you had to reduce the rent for from the tenants?
I don't think we had one. I think out of everyone, we had a lot of tenants saying I'm COVID affected, but when we actually went through the qualifications when the legislation changed, there was maybe one or two that was genuine, as opposed to every single phone call coming through.
But they didn't even get a discount?
We had a couple where they negotiated to reduce the rent, but the tenant is paying that back.
Yeah, so
like a loan.
Yeah.
But we didn't have, not that I'm aware of, where we had anyone where it was straight cutting the rent down. And there was a lot of community assistance too. So our staff was trained in like how to manage the tenants in terms of this is still your obligations. The law hasn't changed. We're sympathetic, but there are avenues that you can go through. And a lot of our tenants came through that. There was a lot of great organisations out there that really helped a lot of our tenants out. So it's been fantastic.
One of the other things that I felt like is really important, and it sounds bad and good and whatnot, but like one of the things that we've got here at B.Invested and looking after everyone's assets is that most companies would have like a PA in the office, but we've actually got a compliance officer from Fair Trading that works for us, right? That like we've employed someone from there, so we've got like the rules and regulations to make sure that we're very pro landlord when it comes to managing properties. We want to get every cent, obviously, because we work for our owners and not for tenants. How we need to be respectful, and obviously the tenants play a big role inside the community. Most of, like probably half of our investors here are tenants themselves, so so it's a very fine line, but we do sort of get a premium on that because we make sure that we adhere to the law. Not everyone's always happy with that, but having thousands of properties that we manage nationally, and only having not even one that's got a rent reduction. We've got a couple that have delayed a portion of their rent. So all of our owners are still getting premium rents all the way through. I can't even say that word, so let's just call it the Corona, because I can't say that word.
Corona?
I can't.
That's insulting beer.
Yeah, I can't say that word. It's so why so many renters thought population growth has collapsed, people escaping Hellborn. I don't think it's people escaping from dictator Dan, but what do you reckon it is?
What do you mean?
Like, why is there more tenants out there at the moment, do you reckon?
I think the tenants were always there. I think because of their circumstances it changed, so they had an out, I think, to be able to vacate early, and people are a lot more cost conscious now as well. And when you have the scamdemic that we have at the moment, so the vacancy periods would seem to be longer, but you need to meet the market as well. So if you're holding out for that extra 10, 20 bucks a week, that's fine, but you're going to be vacant a lot longer. If you meet the market, we're renting properties really quickly.
Looking at it, a few ideas could be, a lot of people are annoyed with their spouse and they just, they're moving out or stuck at their parents. Imagine stuck at your parents and you're like, someone might want to get a lockdown chick so they can bunk it down with throughout the scandemic and lockdown. Like, I don't want to stay at mum and dad's, need to go rent a place, want to move out. Could be people that are separating.
We're actually getting a lot of people moving from interstate.
I was about to say that. There's something that I've noticed a lot in my personal networks of friends and stuff. I see little posts on Facebook and stuff. Before this actually happened in lockdown in Melbourne, I'd seen a couple of like personalities, like TV personalities, saying I'm moving to Queensland. I've got mates that I went to school with that are like, I'm selling in Sydney, moving to Queensland. A lot of people are moving for lifestyle. I've got a few mates that have moved up here recently. So from a lifestyle perspective, people are moving interstate because it's more affordable. They can sell their property in Sydney, be mortgage free, that sort of stuff. And obviously from an aspect of building, there's been a delay in building out there. So we've had 3 years worth of APRA hell with not being able to get funding for developers. Been a lack of new stock coming into the marketplace, and obviously a pent up demand on that front. So it's an interesting time. I'm on fire. There we go. What have we got here? Zach, hey Nathan, what is the best way to organise a map session? So for those of you that don't know, normally I don't have the hat on. I'm going to take it off for a moment, just so we can all see that I'm still serious. Put my hat back on for Michelle's birthday. But I do map sessions, so it's a strategy session to help you work out a plan of attack and a strategy to get you from where you are to where you want to be. If you want to have a map session at cost, it's $495, I believe. Just email my office, admin@binvested.com.au. I give non-financial advice. You tell me what you're trying to do, I'll be like Morpheus on the phone. I used to think I was Neo, right, in the Matrix. I used to think, I'm trying to escape the Matrix, right? But looking back, I always think when I'm doing my map session that I'm Morpheus and Neo's on the other end of the phone. And I'm guiding them out of the Matrix. Yeah, it's pretty deep. So, map session is helping you escape from the Matrix and get you on track to where you want to be. If you do, want to have a map session, spots are limited. I don't organise them; my team organises them. Call my office 1300 367 925. Or flick us an email at admin@binvested.com.au, and the team will be able to organise a map session for us to be able to look at your position and me personally give you a strategy on how to best get to where you want to be. Tracy, Labor is trying to kill off landlords over here with the controls over landlords in New Zealand. Well, I used to be very liberal. I was a very liberal guy. I was like, just not a Labor guy. But a few years ago, I realised that I'm politically atheist.
Okay.
Politically atheist, right? And the reason being is that it doesn't matter which hand the puppet's on, right? The puppet master's still here in the background, and all you see is I'm a liberal, I'm a Labor, right? But there's a darker sort of agenda being played. So I don't think that any political party's going to save you. Liberal's not going to save you. Labor's not going to save you. Here we are with the Liberal Party, which is more socialist than ever before. I'm not trying to offend people here, right? I'd be more aligned Liberal than anything, but looking at the amount of stimulus packages that are being printed out there, there's money everywhere. Like why is there more tenants out there renting? Because there's more money going around. They're just printing more money. Right, they're printing more money.
Yeah.
Imagine when a hyperinflation hits rents, right? Do you know how we talk about like our management fees and stuff like that? You can have awesome reporting. Rents are going to double. Management fees are going to double overnight because everyone's paying double the amount of rent. It's going to be great. So it just depends on how you look at it. So yeah.
Jeremy wants you.
I'm still here. You still got your hat on. What's next? You'll give your birthday suit a run. Look, for those of you that didn't watch in January this year, there's actually a Facebook Live which I did naked in the bath.
You did not.
I did it naked in the bath.
Oh my god.
With bubbles. I had bubbles on my head.
Like covering your private parts?
Yeah, like it was only sitting from here, so you couldn't see anything down. But I was sliding under the bath, and I was worried I was going to like get up and fall in. But I was in Byron Bay in January, and I did a Facebook Live. Actually, I was nude. I did a Facebook Live nude in the bathtub. It was great.
Did you not wear like Speedos or something?
Well, I was having a bath.
God.
I invited everyone in for a chat. At that point, no one would have predicted that would be all under house arrest at the moment. Richard, Blink Queensland is an amazing team. It is.
It sure is.
Awesome. Lawrence, if properties go for more realistic rent evaluations, we can afford to get in the centre of the cities. Looking at yields out there, like I'm seeing yields in Sydney at 7%, 8%. I'm seeing yields in Gold Coast, Brisbane, and other parts of Queensland for 8, 9, 10%, 12%, double digits. I picked up out of the properties in the last week, probably about half dozen that would have been in the 10% plus category in the Queensland alone. They're all out there. I picked up some that are in the 40 and 50%. Greg's totally agree, Nathan. It's all scammers, Liberal or Labor. Exactly. So, but no offence. If someone wants to vote Liberal, vote Liberal. If someone wants to vote Labor, vote Labor. Do what makes you happy, and we should all just get along in life. So, especially in a time like now. Do I invest in Palm Beach? No, not that I don't like it, not that it's great, not that it's bad. It just doesn't fit in line with the strategy from a price perspective. So the reason why I buy certain properties at certain prices is purely the property is to perform a task. So I look at the property as a vehicle to get us from where we are to where we want to be. So, is it bringing me cash flow? Is it bringing me equity? Is it bringing me growth? How's it going to help me get from where I am to where I want to be in the future? And that's what I ask when buying an asset. So if the property was to be in Palm Beach and it was to be able to help reach the goals, then that would be something I'd be looking at buying. But, 9 times out of 10, or probably 1,000 times out of 1,000, it's not there. But there could be the deal that could be floating around in Palm Beach. Not saying that it is a bad area. Apartments, how far should they fall before you start investing? Do you mean falling as falling down like in Sydney, or falling down in falling down in prices? If we're talking about falling down in prices, the Eastern Seaboard states, the 3 states on the Eastern Seaboard, I left Tasmania off. I'm sorry for the friends of Tasmania that are left off there, but on the mainland, the 3 states, Sydney, Brisbane and Melbourne, the markets actually fell in about 2017, hit a bottom in 2019, in June the 4th actually was the bottom of the market, where the market had already gone backwards. The markets are rising. I am seeing it growing. Like there's a growing demand, there's less stock in market, quicker sale times for properties. Prices are getting higher prices for sales out there, and my job is becoming more difficult in order to secure assets out in the marketplace at the moment. So I actually see the opposite. The market is rising. And one thing I forgot to mention, guys, I have a very important video to film tomorrow. I've got a webinar talking about how to buy assets that are below market value, how to buy properties that are cheap in 2020, how to secure assets in any market, how to negotiate, all the things that I do on a day-to-day basis from a property securing front. I'm going to be talking about that on the webinar. If you haven't registered for the webinar yet, flick my team a message. You can do a private message on either of these platforms, and make sure that you get registered, because it is only limited to 500 people. I don't even know if we're capped at capacity yet. The webinar will only allow 500 people in there. It's not me saying, oh look, we're capped at a certain level. It is purely by demand as to who goes in their first invest dressed for registering. So if you would like to know more about negotiating in the market, that would be the best place to go. So I've been asked, what does the free landlord insurance policy cover?
So landlord insurance cover that we have it covers everything to do with your tenancy. The one thing at the moment, which is a very short-term problem, is rent default. So at the moment, your general landlord insurance companies, which I won't name names, a lot of them are just putting a hold on new policies altogether, and clients are finding it really, really difficult for new purchases to even get the cover. So we have a contact where we are able to get tenant damages, pet damage, all this, everything else except for rent default. So what will happen is once we reach a point where the embargo is lifted, anyone that has this landlord insurance cover, the policy holder will get an email. They'll say, hey, we've lifted the embargo for X amount of extra dollars, $50, whatever it is. You can add rent default to your policy and you'll have that included. So at the moment, with the embargo, it's very, very rare that any insurance will take out a new policy whatsoever.
People can't get it. You can't go to your car insurer and get it. You can't go to a landlord insurance company and get it. You cannot get landlord cover at the moment in any markets. But here we have got access to landlord cover. The only thing it doesn't cover is the rent default for the time being. However, it covers any other damage. If the property gets trashed, I think it's got up to about a $70,000 or $80,000 cover. We don't have it here, but that's okay.
Just looking for it.
Michelle's looking for an opportunity to go, I'm going to duck out for a little bit because she's been nervous. She's like, why am I going on the camera for? But she wanted me to wear this hat for her birthday, so I told her that she's
sharing is caring.
It is. It's fun because people want to know the face behind who's managing their assets, right? Like we manage like billions of dollars worth of people's assets. We manage millions of dollars worth of rent for our investors. We run this office like a hedge fund for our investors, and it's important that people get to know who's sort of behind the scenes and helping them get the highest rents for their investments. So I've got a question here from Jezza as well, and he said, can you get back to me regarding leasing your dirt? I actually have a big block of land that I posted up, and I don't need to have all of it for myself, and he wants to rent a part of that, so maybe
email me, man. Yeah.
Michelle's email is, what is it, Michelle?
Michelle R at blinkproperty.com.au.
Michelle R at blinkproperty.com.au if you're thinking of either renting a block of my land or renting out one of your investments. We manage properties throughout Eastern Seaboard. We lease them everywhere. If you'd like to have Michelle look after it for you, you will get free landlord insurance. I could say landlord insurance could be like $500, and people are like, yeah, I'll pay it, right? We give it away for free.
It's free.
For everyone that comes to us.
You can't get anything for free now.
Especially with the hyperinflation. Hyperinflation.
Yeah.
So let's get to some more questions. Our friends on Instagram are going to quit very shortly, so I'm going to restart in 2 seconds. So just hold on 2 seconds, Instagram. It ends, and then we're going to share it to the story, and we're going to go back, we're going to do a new live, everyone else will pop back on.
This is full on.
It is, that's what happens.
It's like
this
a
is
whole
Tuesday
production.
night. It is. Normally I have like 2 or 3 meetings up until this. I'll get on the phone, have a chat to my investors. Tracy, the socialist, actually no, we've got David here. What percentage of those recent tenant applications on the Gold Coast were from New South Wales and Victoria? Agents reporting busy open homes on the coast for houses. Short supply of stock? That's a good question.
Yeah, so there's probably, I noticed maybe 1 in 4 was from either New South Wales or Victoria. And
they're like Mexicans crossing the border now. Like,
it's full on, because we try to only lease properties provided the applicant has actually viewed the property, because they need to know what they're getting, and we're not out to scam anyone or anything like that. So we had a surge of trusted family members or friends attending open homes on their behalf, and we did it that way, and they would like FaceTime and do walkthroughs and stuff. One of the other things that the guys are doing are posting videos of all the vacant properties as well, just in case we get locked down. We're working to be prepared.
So what you've got to look at, especially in the times, like, because we in Sydney, like before, we thought that Sydney may have gone to lockdown and start office, so I actually prepared the whole office for a scenario if we had to go to lockdown, that all my staff could work remotely. I've got about 50 staff in my head office, and we sent out all the property management staff to go and take videos of all the properties, get all the properties presented, so people could do virtual inspections and still be leasing. And things just haven't even stopped in Sydney. Like, it's not just on the coast. Like, you've probably got a higher amount on the coast, and a lot more people moving to Queensland than to Sydney. But things are very hot out there. Like, happening a lot. Like,
it's
properties
crazy.
are leasing, and for shorter days on market as well for that. Yeah. So what I'm most excited about, like, I'll be very, very clear with what I'm excited about. I'm excited by hyperinflation. I'm excited by the Freddo frogs going up. I'm excited by those rents going up. I'm excited by our owners paying us higher fees, because we'll be getting more rent, and they'll be paying us more percentage of that rent to us. And it's going to be great. It's going to be awesome. So, but not for everybody. Like, some people who've got money sitting in the account, they're going to ultimately be able to buy less Freddo frogs, less paddle pops, less Big Mac meals, less of everything. So it's the importance of getting yourself set up in the current market. Tracy, the socialist state that is New Zealand is getting worse by the day. More and more rights being taken from us. Fight the power. I've always had the logo, the slogan of B.Invested is live life on your terms. My background was a matrix picture, which I just changed recently. And always talked about, like, telling your boss where to go, living life.
Does that include me?
You're very quick. She's always so quick onto stuff, right?
I wouldn't tell you. We're like a hat and everything.
Yeah, I want a hat for you. It's your birthday.
We love Nathan. So every time I say birthday, that happens?
Well, I don't know. We've got to try again.
Yeah, we should do that.
Okay.
Oh, so it's my birthday.
Yeah. The presents coming from you. Well, they're coming from us, from the business.
Yeah.
We give everyone free landlord insurance. But I forgot what I was saying.
Yes,
I forgot what I was saying. Yes, as far as being able to live life on your terms, right? Like, I think it's important to have personal liberty, freedom. For me, telling my boss where to go, I didn't hate my boss or anything like that. I worked in some jobs, right? And this is what I realised, right? In life, people go throughout life, they have lots of different jobs, they work in jobs. Most of the time, people, if they didn't, like, let's say people go to work, they hate their colleagues and their bosses so much that if they're at the pub or something like that, they'd probably slap their colleagues or slap their boss, right? That people go through life, they have to do it for trading time for money, right? And I always thought to myself that being able to live life on your terms, right? I worked 2 full-time jobs, Michelle. 2 full-time jobs for 7 years. I saved every cent. I used to staple my socks together. I don't even wear socks anymore.
You stapled your socks together?
Yeah, to save money. I did. True story. And I stitched them up and stapled them sometimes, because it feels uncomfortable when your toe pops through. I don't even wear shoes anymore. I don't even own shoes. But yeah. But when I was working at a job, I hustled 2 full-time jobs, and I worked multiple jobs, and some of the bosses that I worked for were like really, really bad. So none of them would have been as cool as me wearing a hat and all that sort of stuff. And none of them would have been as cool as you to your team.
I know, right?
You've got an awesome team here. One thing that I really am excited by when I come here is seeing,
They're amazing.
the energy from
They
the
make
team.
me look good. I mean, seriously.
They do. Like, but it starts from the top. It starts from the top, and it's like,
Oh, that's
yeah,
nice.
So I'll just put it on the record for you anyway. See, I do say nice things. So it's
I hope someone's recording this.
It's all recording. It's here for the future. But I think now more than ever is, the expansion of being able to live life on your terms is, having that personal liberty and freedom. I took some videos the other day of putting that orchard in the backyard, and some people said, "Oh, the plants aren't ready to fruit yet," and that's fine, right? But it's having access to food and having access to, water, having access to networks of people, having access to options in life. And for me, the first step in life was to get access to cash, because then I wouldn't have to sell my time for money, doing things that I didn't want to do for people that I didn't like, and all that sort of stuff. And then once I was able to do that, then I was able to do whatever I want. Nothing that I say, that's why I'm so candid out there. It doesn't change my bed that I sleep in at night. It doesn't change how I live my life or anything like that. And I think, a lot of people at the moment are starting to wake up and they're like, fuck, I've been lied to. I've been sitting on that train for 3 hours a day, traveling to work, getting home. Now I've lost my job. Is this what I want in life, etc., etc.? And you need to question, right? Is your government, right? I've said, tell your boss where to go back in the day, tell your government where to go, tell every commie out there where to go. They're your personal rights, right? You were born as a free spirit, as a person, but slowly, I was driving past a school the other day. When I have children, I think I'm going to go to employ a teacher actually to teach my children. I'm not going to send them to a school, and I might get a few of my friends to chip in for the cost of the teacher and have private homeschooling, but the teacher actually does the homeschooling for me.
Right.
And I've seen in schools, I was driving past here and I was like, shit, right? You take a child at their best years of their life, the most absorbing sort of years in their life, and you send them off to an indoctrination camp, become a tax slave, and you take away all their creativity. You let them know when the bell rings, they can go like a cattle, right? You prime them, right? And
you can eat now.
Yeah, you can eat now.
Yeah.
You can go to the toilet now.
Yeah.
You can ask for permission for everything. You're all the same. You've taken away all their creativity, all their like. I want to be a pink fairy princess with my little birthday hat. I want to be, a Power Ranger, whatever the case the kid wants to wear. You've taken that away, and you've given them just a uniform.
Yeah.
You're all just like some, commies, right? You send the kids off to be commies, right? They fit into a system, and I think that more than ever, it's true though, right? Think about how you see little kids. The kids want to be free. Why can't a kid wear a nice outfit that they want to wear? Why can't they pick their own outfit and wear it, right? And that's about living life in your own terms, right? People can't even leave their fucking house now, and what you're told to believe it's okay. You're told to believe it. If you want to die and get sick, if there is a sickness out there, that's your own choice. Who cares? Someone wants to get the vaccination, get the vaccination. Someone wants to get it, someone wants to wear a mask, don't wear a mask. I'm not going to go and cough on people. I'm not going to have people cough on me and all that sort of stuff. Sorry, I just have messages coming through. I'm not here to impose on people. I don't think that people should be imposing on us. I think people should have that. And the first thing, ultimately what we do here at B.Invested and a group of companies is encourage people and inspire people to be able to take some of that freedom back, and whether that being not having to sell your time for money, which is the first starting point, whether it be for you to be in a position where you're like, fuck this, I want to move to a state that's better, I want to move to a country that's better, I want to move to Mexico because I don't want to move to Mexico, but someone want to go to Mexico because they're like, I don't want to have to deal with all these totalitarian fascist commie sort of rules. So thanks for sharing that, Tracy, from over in New Zealand. Gail, should we give free cupcakes on Michelle's 21st birthday?
You so should, Gail.
Gail makes the best.
She really does.
Those cheesecakes, right? Like, you're going to roll me back to bloody
Can I
Sydney.
tell the
You're going to put me
story?
in the back of my truck.
Can I tell the story about every time I went into your office?
Yeah.
So Nathan got one of Gail's cheesecake cups, and every time I saw him, he would just be scraping.
The plastic, I was shaving the
Like, there
plastic.
was nothing left. And I said, do you want another one? He goes, it was amazing. It's delicious. And he's just kept spooning it.
Yeah.
Like, literally
Yeah,
licked
it's
it
great.
clean.
Yeah,
It was amazing.
It's great.
So yeah, you should make
Thank you.
cupcakes. Just saying.
And send them to Sydney. Send them to Sydney. I was really looking forward to. I've seen the fudge on our internal intranet in the
Oh
business.
yeah.
I've seen on the intranet we've got fudge, and I really like the look of that. Look great. So just some advice there as well. I'd love to taste some of that. Lawrence said there was always talk that we can't say this stuff. We can't say this stuff. We can't say these things here. It's I'm just trying to read. Yeah, no, it's okay. Louise, get a cone in the lid and add topping. You'll get more ice cream for $5. Yes, here's a handy hack from Macca's, right? People go get a McFlurry, right? And you get a McFlurry with like the ice cream and the M&Ms, right? You can get an ice cream cone for like $1 and then ask them for a cup of the lid.
When they were 30 cents,
I know, me too.
That's shit.
Me too.
Yeah.
But you can get an ice cream cone for 30 cents for $1 at Macca's, and you ask for a cup of M&Ms or whatever topping you want for on your McFlurry, and they give you that for 50 cents, and you can just use the ice cream.
Oh, that's
so there's
so
a hint for
good.
everybody, right? If you want to get a McFlurry, instead of paying $5 on the menu, you get an ice cream cone for $1. 50 cents for the little
That's
cup,
clever.
and then dunk it on top, and there you go.
Man, I like
and
that.
the other thing is, if you don't want to pay the $3.25 or whatever it is for an inflated cheeseburger, what you can do, I can see my mate Des just hopped online.
I can't even believe this is what you're talking
You
about.
can actually get a cheeseburger, you get a hamburger, and buy a slice of cheese separately to it, and it's about $1 cheaper. So, yeah.
From where do you get the slice of cheese?
You ask McDonald's to give you a slice of cheese separately. So you buy a hamburger and
With
a separate
slice of cheese separate.
Yeah, and then once you get
So
it,
how do they package that though? They just give you a slice
they
of
put
cheese?
it in a little container. They put it in a cardboard
Shut
box.
up!
They put it in
They probably cost them more than the burger.
the cardboard box for the cheese, and then a wrapper for the burger. Yeah, it's true.
Wow.
True story. True story. Mitchell, hey Nath, I have a hypothetical question for you. If I was to give you $100,000, what assets would you buy? It can't be property. US dollar currency, silver, gold, crypto, and stocks. It's a good question, right? If someone was giving me $100,000, but my position would be very different to most other people's, right? So we need to remember that everybody's position is different, right? For me, I could take that $100,000 and renovate 20 of my properties and get, an extra 20 grand a year. 40 grand, actually for 100 grand, I'd probably get an extra 50 grand a year in rent by just doing some renos on some of my properties. So that could be one thing that I'd do. For 100 grand, I could, purchase some cryptocurrency. I've got lots of cryptocurrencies. I was just chatting to one of my investors before I hopped on Facebook Live and Instagram Live, and talking about, what am I doing in the crypto space? What am I buying in the crypto market at the moment? I'm not buying anything because I've got so much crypto. I don't need any more. However, I've been buying lots of solar panels, as you're aware.
Oh yeah, we're aware.
I've got factories full of recycle and repurposed solar panels getting shipped off to said sites for solar farms, which are decentralized solar farms, which are running completely off the grid, and no one's going to turn my power off, right? The only way my power's going to turn off is if that sun dies, right? And then we're all fucked anyway. So, yeah, so I'd be buying solar panels. I'd be buying precious metals. I've been buying precious metals for 20 years now. 20 years, maybe 19. I think it was 2000 down at Blacktown Station. I used to go and buy precious metals when silver was only like $20 for a 1 ounce coin, and that was with a premium from the mint, and it was probably silver was probably trading about $3, $4 at the time. But I still purchase at this point in time. I still purchase cheap properties as well. So for 100 grand, you could possibly buy a property for 50 grand. If someone gave me 100 grand, I could buy a 50 grand property, buy 10 grand worth of metal, 10 grand worth of crypto.
You said you can't buy property. Can't be property.
What is that?
Yeah, in brackets. 100 grand, what extra?
Okay, yeah. I'd mix it. I'd mix it across
But
the
you
board.
can't buy property.
I'll
What's
renovate
the
some
point?
property. But you can buy property for less than 100 grand. I don't like when you have so many rules on it. It's like being in lockdown. It's like, you can't do this, you can't do that. I'll buy the property still, yeah. So property's my favourite go-to because we've got a capital that can be increased and inflated away, and then we've got a cash flow position that can be inflated away. Yes Man was, Gemma just said, Yes Man was literally on Foxtel an hour ago. I think we're living in the Truman Show.
Oh my God, I actually like that
No,
movie.
did you get it?
That
It was
was
a Jim
cool.
Carrey.
Yeah,
It's the Truman Show.
Yeah.
Oh, we are living in the Truman Show. Just look at all your Facebook ads that pop up. Stormy, can you PM me, please? Have an opportunity. Just obviously be careful, everyone, when you chat with each other in here. I don't say you can't do it. I don't say you can do it.
Oh, look at Josh. Happy 21st, Michelle.
Where's
Thanks,
Josh?
mate.
There we go.
You're my new favourite client.
There we go. Josh is getting free
landlord insurance.
There we go. We should put a limit on the free landlord insurance because I actually got to pay for it.
Well, you need to pay for it.
Yeah.
I'm just authorising it.
Yeah, this is very expensive.
And I'm super generous on my
Yeah.
birthday too.
Yeah, wow.
With
all
your
my
money.
Look, I still smile. I don't really care about it because it's going to be hyperinflated away anyway, and money's going to become worthless
But
in
how
the future.
cool is it that we're able to offer this to clients? All your clients
That we can
all
actually
the time.
get people landlord
Yeah.
insurance. We always get people
People
asking,
ring me
"How
up,
do we get
stress
landlord
me out.
insurance?"
I've just purchased a property. I can't get landlord insurance.
Yeah.
So this is cool.
Amber asked, where do you get the hats from? Where do you get this hat from for your birthday? Where is it? How do I turn this on? How do I turn it on again? Oh, yeah. Where do we get the hats?
Believe it or not, Kmart.
There we go.
It's awesome. It's the best thing ever.
Well, there we go. I thought I couldn't find the button for a second. Luke, is the map session one-on-one with Nathan or another person from B.Invested? Also, is it tax deductible? A map session is one-on-one strategy session with myself, me, Nathan Birch, not a clone, no one else, just myself, me, you, and you've got me for about an hour to discuss, what your position is, what you're trying to do, and for us to sit there and work out a strategy of how you get from where you are today to where you want to be in the future. Is it tax deductible? You would need to speak to your accountant on that front. As far as from my understanding of it, is that it is an education consultation to improve your cash flow position, which the ATO would look at as being an ongoing expense because it would be to improve your existing position. So I believe it would be tax deductible, but I'm not an accountant, and you would need to speak to your accountant about that. If you don't have a good accountant, hit us up for access to Ridwan from One Path Accountants. Tom, happy birthday for the next week. Michelle, long time no speak, been at least an hour now. Thanks for coming over, Tom. It was good hanging out with you. Tom's
awesome.
He is. He's
Good
awesome.
guy.
He is. He's awesome. We'll catch up with him shortly. Andrea, heaps of friends have moved from Melbourne to Queensland.
Yep.
I think Andrea's from Melbourne, from memory. So, she said a lot of her friends moved to Queensland. A lot of people always ask, like, when I started talking about the GFD, the Global Financial Depression, like, is Nathan a time traveller and all these sorts of things? But
Are
we
you?
actually, I don't know, like, I have travelled through time, because I travelled from the start of this an hour ago to the other day. We both travelled through time. We just haven't gone back.
Yeah.
But like, whoa.
Corona.
Yeah.
See, you can't go back to New South Wales. You have to stay up here now.
That's all right. We'll find a way through. They can close whatever border they want. We'll get through. But look, we've been buying in Queensland for a long time. Like when people were saying Queensland was shit and property's never going to go up and all that sort of stuff. We were here before the boom, right? We were here before the boom started. I was on, I think it was Sunday night. I was actually in the helicopter going around Queensland and did a segment for Sunday night, and I referred to it as the Miami of Australia. Sydney's the New York of Australia, and Queensland's the Miami. So yeah, some people moving here for lifestyle. So got real estate agents chasing me up. I'll get back to you later, Timmy. Lamar, do you recommend Blink Property pay all the bills and expenses from the rental income, or do you recommend paying your own bills and expenses yourself? It's a good question. It's a good question. I'm going to leave it with you, but I'm going to just give expansion upon that. because some people may not realise the importance of it. So you can either pay your own utilities, council, water, strata, insurances, all that sort of stuff, or you can outsource that to your real estate agent. For me personally, I just look at it as economy of scale and time. If you had to type a bill in, right? I used to have to go down to the post office when I first started buying property because they didn't have BPay, right? They're showing my age now, right? I'm putting this hat on to hide my greys, right? So, no, but if I was to sit online and pay all the bills, you'd have to enter the biller code, the customer code, and all that sort of stuff. Let's just assume it takes 1 minute, right, to pay a bill, and it never does, right? Just say it takes 1 minute.
Well, it doesn't.
It doesn't.
It takes you longer.
Just say it takes
The numbers are all around the wrong way. Yeah.
But if you have to pay a bill and that bill takes you a minute, but then you get council, water, strata, insurance, landlord insurance, let's say 5 bills, right? That's 5 minutes. For me, 200 properties, that's 1,000 minutes. 1,000 minutes divided by 60. Right? That's just,
See, I can say it in a really simple way, putting aside time.
that's 16 hours straight just sitting there entering bills. Like I'd go crazy. But from an aspect of how
Here's
you
the
guys
thing.
manage it.
So we do manage it, and if you want something very simple where you get your statement at the end of financial year and you get that 1-page summary and everything's there for your accountant, super easy. On the other hand, you have some clients that would prefer the big regular bills like your land rates, water rates and strata. Some owners are much more cost conscious and you get the discounts with early payments. So sometimes when the due date or your tenant, it's an off week where your tenant is paying rent, it's much easier for the owner to pay a certain amount each week. So they're always in credit, and there's never that you always get the early discount with everything. It's really depending on your lifestyle. If you have multiple properties and you're just super busy and you just don't have the time to keep track of everything, send it all through to your agent and let them do it.
That's what you're paying. That's what you're paying your asset manager to do.
Well,
You're paying it. Like, why not outsource it?
yeah, but at the same time, though, it is technically under legislation is the owner's responsibility to make sure all of those are paid. So where it gets tricky is, for instance, if you have a vacancy period and your strata rates are due, it's really, it falls back on the landlord to go, hey, there's no income coming in and I know the rates are due soon, so I better top up.
That's what we have my property
and that sort of
tracker
thing, yeah.
That's why we have my property tracker as well.
It's really, it's really up to what your preference is. I personally, when I had a bunch of rental properties, I would just pay it, so it's like $20 or $30 a week or whatever, and that was it.
Cool. Hopefully that answers your question, Lamar. Lucas, what's going on here? I just tuned in. This
Birthday month, Lucas.
It's birthday month for Michelle. For those of you that are tuning in later, here on the Gold Coast, in the Queensland office with Michelle. Michelle manages assets of billions of dollars worth of assets for people and her team. There's over 15 staff in this office, and it's her birthday next Tuesday, but I won't be here next Tuesday, so I thought I'd put a hat
We're
on.
making him suffer tonight.
No, I'm not suffering. I find it fun. I've done a Facebook Live naked in a bath. Nothing.
Yeah, that's
nothing,
weird.
Nothing. Yeah. Lawrence said happy birthday. I want to see that. You're also. I don't know if that's.
No one wants to see it.
I don't know.
Gail,
I don't think
no.
that's. I think we're going through like 10 minutes. This message 30 minutes ago. I'm wanting 10%.
Yes, you have to jump in our office pool. Oh, okay. Who wants to see Nathan wearing the hat, jumping in our office
I
pool?
can't go in there now because we.
Why
have
not?
We could.
I'll hold it.
There's too many devices here.
I'll hold 2 things.
Yeah, well.
How hard is it?
Another day. I'll hop in there tomorrow. Maybe I've brought some swimmers with me. Actually, I did bring swimmers with me, so yeah, I can hop in the pool. We've got a massive pool in the office here, guys. We've got a
Not in the office.
Oh, it's like outside the office, so we can just walk outside and hop in the pool. So yeah, Lawrence, I'm wanting the 10% plus category. If you want 10% plus yields on properties, flick my team an email, admin@binvested.com.au. Have a chat with my team. That's what I do on a day-to-day basis, negotiate properties. I will be having a webinar tomorrow night. You have to be registered for that. If you haven't registered for the webinar, flick my team a private message. It's limited to 500 people. That's all that we can run in there as far as people. But I'll be talking about how I purchase these properties, what to look out for, the pros and cons of these types of assets. I'll be covering all of that tomorrow night on the webinar. Aileen, Nathan needed to jump in the Blink Queensland pool at the end of the live cross tonight. Come on, Aileen, I thought we were friends, right? I thought we were friends. You wait till tomorrow. Dave, I haven't been keeping up very well. Any examples? Tracy, I'm not too sure. That was about the commie New Zealand government and all the rights. So, yeah. Shaylee's online. Happy birthday, Michelle, from Shaylee in Sydney. So,
She's my favourite, you know that, right?
yeah, well,
She's amazing.
that's good.
She's
Shaylee's
amazing.
beautiful. I miss Shaylee. It's only been a few days and I haven't seen her, but I'll get to see her at the end of the week. Tracy, if your goal was to have a base of 10 properties as a portfolio, would you set a goal to achieve this, bearing in mind that having a SMART goal is probably the best way forward and realistic formula? Would 2 properties a year be realistic if your current base was 4? Everybody's position is different, everybody's journey is different, everybody's goals are different. When we first started this business, I started the business 11 years ago now. In 2009, in the middle of the GFC, I quit my job, told my boss where to go. Now I'm telling the government where to go and every other commie organisation out there.
With your big floppy hat.
With my big floppy hat. Here we go. I told her I had to do this, right? So look, don't shoot the messenger, everyone. It's with building a portfolio of 10 plus properties. One thing that I take greatest pride with over the last 12 years, 11 years, since making YouTube videos and helping people sort of grow their positions, is that I feel that the B.Invested group of companies has played a role in probably half the portfolios out there getting to double-digit portfolios. The ATO statistics show that less than 17,000 Australians have 6 plus properties. I know that we've helped out a lot more than half of that amount over the last decade. And from our investors, how many investors would we see? Do our investors own 1, 2, 3, 4, 5?
Multiple.
Have you ever seen,
Multiple.
before coming to work here at B.Invested, have you seen large portfolios like this beforehand with?
I've had large portfolios, but I haven't had as many multiple owners, having multiple properties spread out, so diverse.
Yeah.
It's something amazing. Yeah.
So it's a little bit different. Most of my investors are just everyday people. A lot of them are tenants themselves. Probably half of my investors are tenants. That's the cool thing, right? We can help our tenants at Blink, and that's something we strive to do, is helping our tenants become owners as well. So from a business perspective, we help people that are stuck in the rental cycle become an investor, at least be exposed to the market, and obviously they make better tenants by being landlords themselves as well. So like building a portfolio. Most of my investors get to double-digit portfolios within a 5-year period. I do like to see people get, sort of 2 properties a year. That's what I talk about in MAP sessions and helping people build out the strategy. Whether you're in Australia, whether you're in the other side of the world, whether you're in New Zealand, or whether you're in, not that New Zealand's the other side of the world, but like I have people in the US and in England and all different parts of the world that I help and represent in building a strategy and can help out on that front. Honey, please don't hyperinflate your MAP session. I'm hoping to book in one soon. Look, I don't see the MAP session prices going up. I'm not hyperinflating that. Maybe if my staff costs go up and all that sort of stuff, but the MAP session, the reason why I charge $4.95 is just a commitment fee. Lots of people want to talk to me, lots of people want to pick my brain, take my advice, all that sort of stuff. It's just more there as a token of covering some of the costs that it comes to running a business. So with that, it's a good idea actually. hyperinflating our costs, but no. The one that I'm really looking forward to seeing hyperinflate is the actual management fees that people pay on rents. Because I'm not saying that we're going to jack the fees up,
No.
just because when we get higher rents and hyperinflation kicks in, it's really going to impact
Yeah.
on lots of different variables. So, and a lot of people, I've seen like a couple of people in here this evening talk about it being a bit like not as, there's not a lot of positivity out there. I guess it comes down to what angle you're seeing something from,
Yeah.
what vantage point, because there is lots of positivity. You just need to go looking for it, and you'll attract what you seek out there. And it's something that I see that being exciting. Frank, thanks, Nath. How long till we can borrow again after loan deferral or JobKeeper? You can actually borrow on JobKeeper. A lot of people think that they can't borrow money if they're on JobKeeper. We're writing loans all the time with people on JobKeeper. It is classified as an income. Obviously, not everyone is, all the standard lender practices come into play. So if you are on JobKeeper, you could possibly get a loan still. How long to get a loan after loan deferral? It depends on which bank you're with, who you're refinancing to. Some people can you still get loans if they have deferred their mortgage repayments, but it's very slim. So yeah, if you are in that position, feel free to reach out. We all saw Rose last week here on Facebook Live, and saw her recently on the webinar last month. But yeah, have a chat with Zinger, see if they can help you out. Everybody's position is different.
Shit.
We're still at time, it's all right. I'm Mexican, hashtag guilty. We love Michelle.
Aww.
Thank you, Nathan, Michelle. Hugh, Nathan, do you think cosmetic reno is the fastest way to gain equity? Possibly depends. Like, I always want to see return on my investment. If I'm putting in 20 grand, I want to see a $5,000 cash flow return. I want to see if I'm putting 10 grand into a property and I'm getting $3,000 a year in extra rent, which is 60. So if I spend 10 grand, I get $60 per week increase in rent. That's an extra $3,000 per year. $3,000 per year over 10 grand is 30% return on investment. That's better than paying off a credit card. That's better than putting the money in the bank. That's better than paying off your mortgage. If you were increasing the value of your property by more than 10 grand and you're increasing it by 20 or 30 grand and you're getting yourself equity, then it may make sense to do so. Sometimes I see people do renos, and I know someone that's here on the live feed tonight. I said, best not do the reno yet. I'll advise you when it comes time to do that, to do so. This is a part of what we do. Because if you're doing a renovation and you're not getting a cash flow return and you're not getting an equity return, you've got to be thinking to yourself, what could you use, what's the opportunity cost of that money that you're investing into that? So, but yeah, you can create a lot of equity from sweat equity. I call it sweat equity from doing the renos yourself or getting other people to do the renovations. But yeah, with it, it is a way to gain equity. Stephen, what direction has the average rental price been going in Queensland, in New South Wales and Queensland city and countryside? Rents are going up, vacancies are becoming shorter, there are more tenants out there. It's probably the best rental market I've seen for maybe 3 years now.
It's been pretty good,
Yeah.
considering what the media is putting out there, and it's scary. We have been able to consistently rent properties. The last month was exceptionally high. March was a little bit iffy because they had so many restrictions and we couldn't do open homes and stuff, but the inquiry level was still there and was consistent, so it's been pretty good.
And we try and get those tenants, if we can't help them with one property, we try and put them onto another property. So we sort of pre-qualify tenants to be able to have a waiting list of tenants. And we are in a period where we're actually very short on vacancies in vacant properties out there. So if you do have a vacant property, once again, because it's Michelle's birthday, we've got to put the... Hold on. All right. we have got a special birthday present at my expense on behalf of Michelle for the office.
Nathan shouting.
I'm shouting.
Free landlord
everyone.
insurance, everyone.
Free landlord insurance. So I'm literally paying for it myself to give you guys access to landlord insurance. How do you get access to that? Send a message to Michelle. Come on board. Bring your properties over to Blink in the month of August.
August, dude.
I was going to say month of March and then April and August. I don't know. I'm getting too tired.
Yeah.
In the month of August, bring your property over to us, and I will personally pay on behalf of Michelle your landlord insurance, which you can't even get landlord insurance out there. So we can get you. I will be paying for your landlord insurance as Michelle's birthday present to you guys. So
I'm forgoing that.
Yeah.
Forgoing a birthday present, and I asked Nathan to pass it on.
I bought you nice plants the other day, though.
I'm not really a plant person, but
Yeah.
okay.
Who likes these? These are cool. Put them everywhere. She walked in the office and the office is full of plants. She's like, now I have to look after these friggin' plants. But it makes
You
it
left
nice.
like a trail of soil, by the way, everywhere,
Yeah.
but that's okay.
Sounds like me. And I got you a frother for the coffee machine.
I haven't got it yet.
It'll arrive
though.
any day.
I know, but until I have it, I can't appreciate it.
Yeah, you'll appreciate it. It's
Yeah.
exactly the same as the one you sent me in the picture you're looking for. Josh, can you talk more about the property tracker, mate? I've got an email from PIA, just want more information. So my property tracker is a software that I created about 10 years ago. It's being updated at the moment. I've been working on a new rollout of it, which will be coming out very shortly. But my property tracker is basically like a CRM, account zero, and a bookkeeper all in one. So I think it's about $13.95 per property per month. You get all your accounting looked after. We've got a team of people that enter in, act as your admin team to manage all your paperwork, your documents. Helps people that are self-managing, helps people that are paying their bills, tracking their bills, and it helps save a lot of money when it comes to tax time. Helps save on your accountancy fees, let's face it, right? $13 a month for a bookkeeper to look after your property, entering all the
cheap.
data. Yeah, you can't get
That's
a
really
bookkeeper
cheap,
for
yeah.
$13.95 per property, but $13.95.
Bookkeepers are like $50 an hour. Yeah, that's cheap.
Yeah, it's like having bookkeeper, accounting software. All you have to do in the financial year is push print, makes an export of a PDF file,
Yeah.
and it sends it to your accountant.
God,
You can
that's
really
amazing,
avoid-
people. Sign up and
So
do
when you
it.
talk about the like the bills and that, which I was asking beforehand, there's actually like a CRM tracker in there which actually sends you an email saying, have you paid your insurance, right? It gives you an opportunity, so it
that's
reminds
cool.
you of the insurance to be able to go, okay, it's been 12 months, I've got to pay the insurance again. Am I getting the best premium? It gives you the opportunity to go and try 3 different insurance companies, get the best
All
quote.
right. That's
It just
cool.
reminds you. So that's what my property tracker is all about. So it helps play a part, a pivotal part in managing large property portfolios, because things do slip through the cracks. Steve, I changed over so that Blink pays the bills now, and it was one of the best decisions. Saved much time for me. And in the
Yay.
summary, at the tax time, makes it easy. And I have 10 properties. I couldn't imagine people doing that themselves with more. There we go. Steve is one of our VIP clients here, and yeah, that's cool. I appreciate the feedback, and I think everybody should get Blink to manage their bills for them.
I know, but you can't make people do that. Some people aren't comfortable.
Oh no, I'm not making
just
anyone.
saying. So you have
Michelle's
to be
like, it means a lot more
diplomatic.
work for us. It's a lot more
No,
work for us. But
it's the same thing.
Yeah.
Like we're entering 100
Good.
bills to 5. It's the same sort of thing, but it's what
our
it's
software
best
makes
for-
it easier as
yeah,
well. How we
100%.
enter it in and make sure they get paid and all that sort of
And
stuff.
our software too, just FYI, we have an
How do you
owner
talk about
portal.
that? Yeah.
It's so cool. So if you're one of our existing clients and you don't have your owner login, send me an email, give us a call tomorrow. And it is amazing. It gives you the whole property overview, tells you where your tenant's rent's paid to, gives you inspection reports, you can download statements, all this sort of stuff without having to send us an email asking for copies of this, copies of that. Log in 24/7 and it's right there. Amazing.
A lot of people always talk about when renting out their properties and stuff. One of their biggest pet hates is the communication aspect with they're property managers. Like it's just an industry thing out there. And the software that we implemented, it had a bit of teething issues throughout 2019, but in 2019 we changed over our software to give a better experience for our investors, and it was a bit of a clunky start there as people were getting used to it, going, okay, how do I access and use it? But it is like top of
It's
the
so
line
cool.
software.
It's so good.
You can log into your account and
Yeah.
see the communication from the back end. Is that right? Like, so
Yeah.
like all the communication. So if there's a tenant in arrears, or there's a repair needing to be done, or
Yeah.
something that goes wrong, you don't even have to call our office about it. You can
You can
actually
just
log
see
in
it.
and see what we've been doing.
And you can send us direct emails too from your portal. You don't even need to log into your email, Outlook, or whatever it is. You can send us messages directly through your owner portal, which is
Yeah.
really cool.
Yeah. Steve, will inner city real estate demand decrease if many people move out the countryside to escape CV? I'll say that CV. That's not.
What's a CV?
That's that
That's
word
not a
with the
resume.
disease. No, the disease. The disease.
Gotcha.
Yeah, no, I can't say. Lockdowns. Look, it may see some of that. I actually think that, like, from a working perspective, I think a lot of people will move to areas that they want to live in rather than they have to work. One of my general manager, who's on this trip with me to Queensland, had a relative come and stay over the weekend, and they hung out. And then today she said, what I should have done, she works from home now, why did she have to go back home for, right? She could have stayed here, right? And there's a lot of people that are like, you know, I can work from the beach, I can work from wherever now. And I think that will see a shift in, you know, the way things are going to be done. If people are thinking, you know, in a Sydney real estate, commercial real estate in the city, in the heart of the CBD, in a shopping precinct, things are changing massively out there, folks. Things are changing massively. I don't even realise the difference, right? All these things with the shops and how the world is. Like, I didn't want to partake the other day. When I went out with my mate, real estate agent, was just texting me beforehand, and we all loved him. And we're like, where do we go? Where do we hang out? There's nowhere to go. It was like 11 o'clock at night. I was finished my emails. I went and had a bit of dinner. The restaurant kicked us out because it was too late. We thought, we'll go down to the pub and hang out, have a couple of drinks, have a chat. Couldn't even get in. Like, I don't go out to society. I don't go to the shops. I don't go buy things. I do it online. And, you know, looking at people's lifestyles, they will change. And it's going to be a really exciting decade and years to come.
See,
I think a lot of people...
Michael thinks he should jump in the pool too.
Michael always thinks I should do silly stuff, and I love Michael's humour, and I hope everything's well
We
out
should
in
do it
Shelby
tomorrow.
Heights out there.
Your last day in Queensland, I can record it,
Yeah.
and then you can post it on Facebook.
Possibly, yeah.
That'd be
could do
really
that.
cool.
Yeah, maybe if it's warm tomorrow. I've got board shorts with flamingos on. I don't know why.
Oh my god, that's amazing.
Yeah, I've got
You should just
flamingos.
do it.
Yeah, I could wear that too.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah. When are you going to strike into the South Australian property market? Truth be told, I own 3 properties there personally in South Australia. I buy nationally. Like, I don't talk about other states. I don't talk about everything out there in the media and in social media. So I keep a lot of the investing and like areas and locations that are very close to my chest because it's my IP for for my investors. So I don't show it out there, but I am invested into the South Australian market. Do I think it's the best market in the country? No. Is there better markets? Yes. I've been a big proponent for Southeast Queensland for many years, and I think we're going to see a large boom phase come through in the not too distant future. There's a lot of mining towns that are heating back up. Not that I'm a mining fan. However, there is a lot of stuff that's been picking up for pennies in the dollar. Like 90% discount. Like some of the properties that we've been managing, right, that we're picking up, like, you know, specifically, like there was a large batch of some of them that we got. We picked them up for 90 grand and they were selling for 500,000 5 years ago. 500 grand to 90 grand. They're renting for 800 bucks a week. They're renting for 200 bucks a week now. They're 5 years old. They've got depreciation.
That's crazy.
Amazing. But yeah, Michael also said for me to do a nude street run.
What is with all this demand for you to be doing nudie runs
don't
on
know.
Facebook?
I don't know.
People, no one wants to see that.
Yeah, cool. So Luke asked, hey Birchie, see you on the Gold Coast. Remember the video you did about 10 years ago in the mega mansion in Sovereign Islands during the Gold Coast? What's happened to this top-end market since then? Do you still have the old school MR2? Thanks for the content. So I get haters sometimes that say, oh, you know, Nathan's going to go broke, property prices are going to fall, all these haters, right? And used to shit me. And I think, oh, fuck, I've got so many cool things. I'm so diverse. I have like storage facilities. Like, do you know how I've got the storage facilities with like literally repurposed solar panels everywhere throughout the country? And they're not even in use. I've got to get trucks to truck them and logistics networks of putting them on site. But one of the other things is actually old cars. I've collected this shit, right? Old mobile phones, old computers,
That's so weird.
Tarzos, right?
What is that?
They're like these little cards that come in the chip packets back in the day.
No
All
way.
cards from when I was a kid. I collect all different things, right? One of the things I collect is cars, right? Do you remember when Commodores and shit used to sell for $80, $100?
Yeah.
Mitsubishis, Bluebirds, whatever. I bought these cars for like $1,000.
Bluebirds.
I bought for like $500, $1,000.
That was my brother's first
$200.
car.
I've got like literally shipping containers with cars jammed in them. I've got storage facility. I don't have anywhere to store these cars, but I bought a MR2, the 1987 MR2, like the little square cube.
Yeah.
I flew up here and bought one back, drove it back to Sydney. I did fly for a little while, drove it back to Sydney. I did a YouTube video out in Sovereign Island with an MR2 in Sovereign Island. For those that don't know, Sovereign Island is like all these mansions and stuff with like 100-foot yachts in their backyards and stuff. And there was a video, and that property that I took the video in front of, it was a $25 million property that sold for like $7 million, and now it's been finished and it's on the market for $65 million at the moment. It's on 4 blocks or 5 blocks of land in Sovereign Island, and you think you're on some sort of rap video set or something when you're there. Like, it's just like, there are nice houses there, but I drove out the other day because I actually own a block of units that's on the outskirts. You know which one it is, right? It's a block of 3 units, and it sits right on the entrance to that. And I picked it up for like 800 grand, 3 units. It's one of my favourite properties, and it's just a shitty block of 3 2-bedroom villas. Yeah, that market's pretty hot out there. I actually wouldn't want to buy there anymore because I'd think about the egos of the people in there, the types of character. I'd rather be on a farm. I'd rather be on a beach, private beach. Yeah, I don't want to be in like.
We'd all rather be on a private beach, to be honest.
Well, let's go there. One day we'll get there.
Yeah.
We'll all get there. I like going to private beaches. I stop in on the way to them. Lydia, hi Michelle, just a question. Just on my tax return, one of my property agents had the funds that I send them as income, hence my accountant included it as total rental income. But that is incorrect. I asked my property agent not to include funds I send to them for tax expenses as income from my tax return statement, but they said they can't change in their system. So I'm thinking I will have to change agents. How do you normally write the funds from owners sent to you for their expenses to be paid for properties? Do you just state it as expenses or income? Sorry, I hope that makes sense. Happy birthday, Michelle from Papua New Guinea. You've got Lydia from Papua New Guinea.
Oh, Lydia.
Saying happy birthday. And she's beautiful.
Do you know,
she's always here.
So, Lydia, I am a trust accountant and I love trust accounting. And this is actually a really common mistake. And it's something as simple as the agent on the back end, there are dissections, right? So, rent is a dissection as rent. So when you do your end of financial year summary, you have all the summaries there in different dissections. So it's rent or plumbing or electrical. So owner fund should be a separate dissection, and it is technically classed as an income, but it should be in its own separate dissection. So your accountant can clearly see that that's funds that you've put in. So that is the way that I receive it. So it's very clear on the statement that it's not technically rent, and it is very clearly stated. So your accountant can look at that and go, okay, there was a shortfall there. The owner had to put those funds in.
Yeah. Cool.
Very simple. And if you want to switch agents, email me, michelleR@blinkproperty.com.au. Free landlord insurance.
You won't have to put money over for
No.
insurance. So that's perfect. I was about to ask Lydia for her business for for her property management. So, but,
There you go,
you
beat
beat me
you
to
to
it.
it.
So
Sure did.
I'd love to look after your properties. I'd love to look after everybody's properties here if you'd be able to give me the opportunity.
We could do like a trip to Papua New Guinea and say hi to Lydia. Maybe next birthday.
See what I have to do. I bought all these
Hashtag
plans.
hinting for next year.
I think they'll block the borders. They can't come and see you because it's.
We'll see.
Lawrence, I'm mortgage free in a couple of spots. I'm super positive about things. That's awesome, Lawrence. That's awesome. There's lots of people that are really set up to take advantage in this market. A lot of people that are very well placed, and I get excited when I hear people's cool stories.
Yeah.
Some people have not great stories. Some people have fantastic stories. There's sometimes it's just a couple of little things that you need to do to turn that around. So, yeah. Mitchell, a lot of expats returning to Australia. I've seen some people that have been travelling abroad. I've got clients that live abroad, and they've returned home to motherland because there's no point being in a third world country with no medical. Right? Seriously, like people are like there's some people.
Oh my God, you can't say that.
Yeah, but in some countries, right? Like people might be travelling in a place, living in a place, and they're like, yeah, okay. Michelle's not used to my politically incorrect things, but yeah.
I'm like going, you can't say that.
And she said you can't say that. But there's lots of people moving. People are scared. People don't know what's going on. So, Lawrence, I can get a bookkeeper full time for about a monthly wage in Latvia. They speak English. That's cool. That's cool.
Sweet.
That's cool. Stephen, Michelle, does the owner portal work for both Blink Queensland and Blink New South Wales? Does one login show all the properties, or do you need a login for each state?
That's interesting. I think because we're two separate offices, Vanessa in New South Wales would need to send you an owner portal, but you can use the same login details. Once you log in for both individually, you should be able to see both, if that makes sense.
I actually, I believe that you can, and it's linked to an email address. So
Yes.
you set up the email
So you can
address,
use the same email address and the same password, and it will initially link you up. But I think Vanessa actually has to send the invitation from her end, and that will link it.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Awesome. I found it. Gail, mass check out our mate page and my comment. You'll have a good laugh. I will check that out later. I know it's personal between me and him.
Okay.
Do you guys have experience with property subdivision, Stephen? Depends on what aspect of it. As a part of the B.Invested group of companies, got lots of people, lots of experts in their relevant field. So whether it's a legal aspect, development aspect, town planning aspect, feel free to flick us an email, flick us a message, and I'll see how I can help you out on that front. You're getting love. Excellent.
Oh,
Love
Lydia!
You.
We
Please
love
come.
you too!
Chicken. Yeah, I'll
Love
just get her the plane.
chicken.
So Lydia's a pilot.
Is she really?
Yeah. She can fly us out of here if it gets too commie in
Yes,
Australia. she
Lydia,
can fly us
come
to
get
the
us. Save us.
So, cool. So, anybody got any further questions? Flick them through. We will head off shortly. We're almost 2 hours. I told you it'd be 2 hours, almost.
I know, right?
Anyone got any questions? Flick them over. Is there anything in the meanwhile that you would like to talk about?
No, but if you have any friends or family members and they're struggling to get insurance or they're struggling with
anything property management,
property managers, email me.
if they've got vacant properties, I see a lot of lazy agents out there that are like, oh, things are tough. They're blaming their laziness on
Something really cool that I want to mention that a lot of agents don't have is we have 2 full-time leasing agents, and that is all they do. They just smash out, they do opens, they smash out applications, and they follow up on inquiries and get feedback and get all this information. Every time we hold an open house, the next day, guys are working the phones, ringing them, asking them feedback and all this sort of stuff. So that's how we're renting properties, by being proactive. a lot of agents out there, they're just super busy and they're like going through the motions, but they're not actually working for their owners. And that's one of the things that we're trying to do.
One of the
as
things
well.
that how we look at, managing people's assets, being an asset manager, that's different from real estate office. Like most agents will be like, oh, $10, that doesn't do anything. The tenant's a good person. Let's not put the rent up, or if the week's rent or whatever. Like when a property becomes vacant, we've got to look at, let's say for instance, the average rent, say $400 a week, right? $400 a week at say 7-8% sort of management fee. That would be 8, 16, $32, $32 times 52 weeks, $1,500 a year. But it'd be $32 a week on $400 a week rent at 8%, just hypothetical numbers. If it's $32, and let's say we've got 1,000 properties that are vacant throughout a year, let's say they become vacant 1 week, let's say the property is vacant for 1 week within the year, that would be $32 times $1,000, so it's $32,000 that you're not paying us for having the property vacant for a week. If it's vacant for 2 weeks, it would be $64,000. If it's vacant for a month or 4 weeks, it'll be $128,000. And that's not cool, right? Like, because as a business, you're still got to pay everyone's wages for those weeks that the properties are vacant. So one thing that is very important, that we're proactive with the processes there. And out of those properties that you're leasing out at the moment, how long are they vacant for? Some of them, like
We've had a lot of success in renting properties before the tenants have actually handed back the keys to us, and that's what we're striving to do with all our properties. It's been super challenging with COVID, but we're getting there. So there are some properties that are longer than we would like. However, we have to act on our own instructions as well, and some owners would prefer to hold out for that higher rental return, which is completely fine. But when you're in a competitive market, you really need to think about that extra $10 a week versus being vacant X amount of weeks and how much money you're losing there. But we always act under own instructions. We can only give you recommendations of what we would like.
you could do if you could drop your rent by $10, right, and you rent it out in a week instead of a month. That $10, you could do it on a 3-month lease.
Well,
Or
no,
6
months.
Yeah,
That's not very
just
crazy.
technically,
6
right?
months.
But you could put it on a small lease and then increase the rent with 60 days notice at the end of that lease, prior to the end of the lease, and then be able to increase rent and have like a ratchet clause in there, which starts off at one cost and then it then goes up to a further amount after a period of 3 to 6 months as well. So there's different ways around from a strategy, from how you can get those vacant properties leased quicker and all that. Have a chat to Michelle. Where do you buy strawberry Freddos?
No, she's asking, did you buy strawberry
they're too expensive, Aileen. The strawberry Freddos.
He lost all his money on Hungry Jacks, didn't you hear?
Hyperinflation's making me poor. So, I was just about to turn the hat back on. But on that note, guys, I've got a lot of emails to catch up on. I can see messages coming through. People I've got to call back. I just want to thank everybody for checking in and watching us this evening. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to the team. Send us a message, send us an email, send Michelle an email, send the team an email. I just want to thank also the team here for the hospitality the last few days. You're doing an amazing job. Offer's really cool. Really like everything that's going on. And thanks for making me wear this hat.
Thank you.
Yeah. Thanks for and challenge accepted. And on that note, guys, I will be doing a webinar.
Oh, there's Danielle. Hi, Danielle.
Hey, Danielle. With it, I'll be on the webinar tomorrow night, talking about how to secure properties below market value in 2020. Michelle's making notes here for people.
I'll send you own access tomorrow, Danielle. Promise.
See how proactive she is. But if you would like to be a part of the webinar tomorrow night, I'll be talking specifically about how to buy properties below market value, how to negotiate with agents, what to look out for in this current market, how to capitalise on the opportunities out there in this market. So if you do want to be part of that, and you haven't registered yet, you don't know how to, flick us a message. My team will sort it out for you. They'll send you a link tomorrow, and look forward to seeing you then. Until next week, see you next Tuesday. Happy birthday, Michelle.
Thank
and
you.
We'll catch up soon, guys.
See you
Bye for now.
guys.
Where's my end button on here? Where is my end button? I've actually lost the end button here today. Wait, no streaming. No. Where are we?
I still can't believe you
No.
wore that hat.
It won't turn off. Okay,
Wait.
I'm gonna try and. Well,
Wait, where is it?
this is screwed up on. Oh,
Let's
thank you.
just do that.
No, I'll try to concentrate now. Thanks, Michelle. How do we turn this off? It's playing up today. It will not be saved if I don't do this. I can't watch it.